Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. And once again, we got an outstanding guest, Mr. William Murry from the Murry Group. And we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about entrepreneur. We're going to talk about influencing young people and exposing them to businesses in school. You know, like they take recess and go on trips. Let them go to these businesses and see what's going on. Hey, welcome,
How you doing,
William.
Ed? Ed, it's always a pleasure being here with you, Ed. It's just being here with you, Ed. I just enjoy it so much, and the conversations we have, is just educational. Of course, you teach me a
Right.
lot, and just the
We help
things
each other.
we do. Yeah, I enjoy that.
Right. Tell us, a lot of people, you've been on the show before. Tell us about this Murry Group and how it got started, because it is oriented to business. And that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, Ed, and I saw a need. I'm an expert out there when it comes to the thought and action process of life, of business, of success. I mean, this is my 37th year as an entrepreneur, and I've traveled the country, and I'm a junkie for information. And I was seeing people telling me, were bringing me in to speak on things, and everything I wasn't an expert at. So I says, okay, I know enough people who are expert at writing, let's say, for instance, writing for grants, or an expert on credit, or an expert on social media. So I found someone and I explained to them my business and what I wanted to do as a group. And I said, okay, it's going to be the Murry Group. And the experts, so if you as a company would say, okay, Mr. Murry, I need you to come and teach my people and talk to them about business and success, about the mindset, the thought process of success, and I need you to explain to them about grant writing or about credit or about social media, I had someone in my group I could bring along with me. And when you're out like that, you want to have an expert, someone who knows and that can teach their specialty. Because, like the saying goes, in order to be great and be successful and build wealth, all you got to do is be good at one thing. And I would ask them, well, what's your expertise? And I'm seeing that there are more companies out there that need help. These mega companies need assistance.
And people don't realize how important that is to have someone like you, the Murry Group, to come because that frightens a lot of people away from business.
It does. What's the most asked question? I was telling you Ed, earlier, Ed, that I passed out a questionnaire, and one of the questions that they check off on more than any other one is, where do I begin?
Yeah.
Where do I start?
Right. And see, the other thing too is that I think preparation is the key for business. That they gave examples. I was at one meeting there. They gave example. How youngsters are how they are exposed to different businesses, and really they right away they want to come out and make $1 million a year. But what you have to do, you have to gain some experience, and they shy away from the low-paying jobs. But sometimes you get a low-paying, like the fast food industry, and you learn how they themselves, how they made it, how are they making X number of million $1 billion by flipping hamburgers or in the food industry or whatever industry it is they have developed a system where it costs you very little, but it makes them a lot of money.
Yeah, Ed, what you just said is very, very powerful. Because I tell, when I go speak at these universities or wherever I go speak, I tell them, wherever you work, don't care what company it is, look at the company. Learn their system. Learn everything they're doing and store it. Because when you go out there and start yours, you already got a system or a know-how of how this company did it. I talk about BDI. I always talk about BDI. BDI, what is BDI? You borrow, you duplicate, and you improve upon it to fit your situation. Don't try to reinvent the wheel, just improve it.
Yes, that's true. Well, our industry, the industry now, you know, with the cell phones and all. Look, there's two companies now, I think, just merged, you know what I mean, where one had one expertise and the other one had another, and they merged together.
Right,
You know
and that gave them a whole new idea for something that's going to be better than the other company. That's what it is. You take that expertise of that one and grow you. And that's what it's all about. That's what I do when when I'm in front of, and I love the stage. I mean, I have found my purpose. I truly, and they say your life is complete once you find your purpose. I have found my purpose because I enjoy seeing people when you give them that aha moment. All of a sudden, you see their body language change. You see a glare in their eye, or see them pick up their head because you give them that aha moment. And once you find your purpose, but you got to realize you are always in study. You're always in class. You're always in school.
Always learning. That's the key.
That's it. Like, a person who knows everything is a fool. Avoid them.
Right.
Because they aren't going to teach you anything because they already know everything. You never want to be the smartest person in a group. The saying goes, if you're the smartest person in the room, you got a problem. If you think you're the smartest person in the room, you got a problem. And if you are, you got a bigger problem. Because you got to walk hand in hand with successful people. Be around those who can grow you, who can teach you.
What we want to do, give us, you can break it down on youngsters out there, interested in business. Tell us 1, 2, 3 methods of starting a business. How do you go out and start a business?
Well, first thing is you got to realize that success is a process. 2 things to be successful is mandatory. I don't care what it is. You have got to have patience and determination. Those are the 2 keys to business. And you've got to have it in writing. You've got to put it in writing. You go to people and ask them.
That's a key.
And ask them, what do you want to do? And they say, well, I know what I want to do, and I know how I want to do. Well, where is it? Well, I know what I want. That's useless to me. I'm not a mind reader. The first thing I'm going to ask you is, show me your business plan.
Right.
I tell them, if you think it, ink it. You got to put it in writing. Anything that you like, my wife loves these judge shows, and everything. Because what's the first they tell you? Okay, prove it to me. Show me where your receipt is. Show me where you did this or you did that, and it's got writing. It's got to be in writing. That's business.
So the key there, what you're talking about is, if you have an idea, do research on it.
You must.
And once you do research, and how can you improve on whatever it is, the business that you select? Because
Correct.
Everything out there, someone invented it, but there's always in the future a better way of doing it.
A better way of doing it.
Hey, they started with the typewriter. Now they got the computer. They got
it's still a typewriter.
Right.
But somebody just improved upon it.
Just improved upon it.
PDI, borrowed it, duplicated, and improved upon it. You can't reinvent fire. You can't reinvent the wheel. You can't reinvent bread. But you can improve upon it. Look around you. Everything you see, your clothes, your computer, your chair you're sitting in, the TV you're looking at, the car you're driving, was someone else's idea. Are you aware of the fact, you ask people, well, what was Henry Ford famous for? What did he invent? They say, well, he invented the car. No, he didn't. Henry Ford invented the system of putting things together, of
transportation. It was a horse and buggy.
It was horse and buggy back then.
Okay, and then they improved it. They took the wheel and they came up with the automobile.
And now built it faster.
Yeah, now can you believe they're talking about a car that drives itself?
Isn't that amazing?
Yes. Now, I said to myself, I want to do some research on that, where a car actually drives itself. But what happens is that, like you say, there's so many things need improving on. George Carver,
The peanut.
The peanut. Everybody thinks that, that was his big thing. But as far as the peanut was concerned, that was a simple thing. That's something he started with, but he was involved, George Washington Carver was involved in artificial arms, and if he had any time, take your family to Tuskegee. That's where George Washington Carver museum is. This tells you what a great scientist he was, but he only got credit for the peanut. But if you go there, you can see the innovativeness that he had. He took nothing and made something out of it.
And, we were talking earlier, I was telling you how people take, what they do, one of the biggest mistakes that we make, we'll go to all these concerts, we'll go to the movies, which is great. I don't say nothing's wrong with it. But you aren't going to seminars. You aren't going to educational classes. What you're doing, you're spending more money outside of your head than you're spending on the inside. We aren't giving ourselves the correct education. It's out there, Ed. I live on YouTube. I live on the internet. Because, see, when I want to get better, I got to watch people who are better than me, who can grow me, or who's been out there for a while. This morning, I was watching.
You're looking for a challenge.
Yes.
See, that's one thing as far as business is concerned. You got to have a challenge. You have to have some kind of challenge. How am I going to improve this?
Yes.
Or what can I do to make this better?
Or make me better.
Yeah. And so what you do, you have developed that interest in that drive. Because just like you say, hey, look, if you were worried about being disappointed and failure, a good businessman has always failed. He has failed more times than he has been successful.
That's where your lessons are. There isn't a lot of learning in success. Your failures, your struggles, and your hard times is what give you your lesson.
Right.
That's God's way of telling you here, that's how I want you to learn this lesson so you remember this lesson.
Yes.
So never failure. Failure is not a person. Well,
that's one of the deterrents that especially dwell on youngsters, because I always think in terms of the future.
Yes.
Actually, the guidance that they need more of, that they don't get in school now, is getting into the business world. This is catalytic society here.
Yes, it is.
And what happens is that a few people rule the country because of entrepreneurship. And that, if you don't believe it, just every time you turn around, they coming up. Okay, everybody's laughing about green now, saving it. But eventually, anyone that comes up with a project or comes up with something that's going to improve the environment, they're going to be billionaires. But this is the time now
when billionaires are made.
Right, where they are made. And you have to be innovative. You can't just go along with the program, and that's what a lot of people do. But what we're going to do here in this second half, we're going to talk about improving the business curriculum, entrepreneurship in school by starting when they're in kindergarten.
That's a good place.
See you in a second.
You can say with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite. On earth, hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. One book can be the first little thing that helps to change a life. Book people unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Hi, welcome back to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. I want to know why. Why is the major word when you deal with a child? The first thing, exposure, the first words that they say is why? Why? Why do they have to do this? Why? This is an indication that that child is ready to learn. They're there, and most parents, they say, oh, you worry me to death. why I have to explain why this is done and why this is done. But that's the key word. And what we're going to do in this segment, talk about entrepreneurship, why you yourself should expose your youngsters to business. The business man runs this country. About 3% of them have all the money. Hey, the rest of us, we're working for them indirectly. So we're going to talk about why they don't emphasize business and entrepreneurship in your colleges, in grammar school, in middle school, and in high school. Because everyone can't be a superstar athlete or a superstar entertainment. Most of those people, hey, they're in the 3 and the 4%. Most of us work 9 to 5, and 9 to 5, that's not the way in the business world. Because the people that make the money, they don't work now. They have you. Yes, I'm talking about you working 9 to 5, and you want to be that business, that entrepreneur that's having people make money for you. Hey, tell me something there, Murry. William, tell us. You were saying that the why and all of that.
About the big why.
Tell us a little bit about that and your opinion of why they should have more emphasis on entrepreneur and businesses.
Well, and one of the greatest questions ever asked was why. You have to know your big why. You know, in my case of business, I know that I'm not a social media person. That's my big why. I know why I need this person. I know I don't know a whole lot about grants. I know why I need this person. See, those who know how, I know how to do, but they're my big why. You're either going to be bossed or be a boss. The decision is yours. A child asks you why. When he says why, all he's asking you is give me information.
That's it.
Information. You should never tell a child, don't ask me no more questions. Then you're taking away from them the
curiosity.
The curiosity and the want
drive.
to know why.
The drive.
Want to know.
Yeah.
The want to know. Because see, we put limits on and we give our children limits. There's no limit to your mind. Don't take the limit from that child. Let them know there is no limit. Ask the why. And when you get to the point where you don't know, now you got homework.
You're right.
Or you give your child the ability, you give them the where to go answer their own question. That's where you have your computer. Because I tell people, the 4 greatest inventions that ever came about was fire, you got the wheel, you got bread, and then you got the internet. There is no greater, because the internet connected the world, connected you to all the information that man has access to. Your children, and education, when it comes to education, where we're messing up in schools, we don't teach them entrepreneurship.
No.
We aren't teaching them business. We aren't teaching them finances. We're giving them everything. Instead of giving them an allowance, don't give them no allowance, give them a job.
Right. Let them work for it.
If you keep your room clean,
right.
If you do the dishes, cook dinner, if you take out the trash, if you do this, pay them. So now when they say, I want this pair of shoes, I'm not buying it for you. You got a job. You buy it.
Right.
Just teach them how to manage their money. And you tell them, if I pay you $5, you can only spend $4. One has to be put away. $1 got to be put away.
Bank, yeah.
So once they grow up.
That's where the piggy bank came in.
You know, Ed, that is true. But we aren't teaching our children this. And you wonder why they want all these big things, because we aren't teaching the value of $1. How many times have you sit down with your child and told them, okay, I'm paying bills. I'm showing you what it costs for us to live.
Right.
I'm showing you the rent. I'm showing you the insurance. I'm showing you the grocery bill. I'm showing you the electric bill. I'm showing you the phone bill. They have no idea about that because we aren't teaching it to them.
Right. Well, I think that it starts with the parent, but
Yes.
I think what's happening too in our educational system, they're not putting enough emphasis on entrepreneurship and business, because the youngsters, they have the wrong idea. You find athletes and entertainment get mega dollars, and they're not able to manage the money, they end up broke. Or,
Look at your athletes, Ed.
That's because of the fact that the basic things in being an entrepreneur, or the basic thing in actually is math and English. This is the thing that we've had on the show, Dr. Williams and all, and the mentors, is making sure the basic things the youngsters get, the mathematics and the English, because you got to know how to count, and you got to know how to read, and you got to know how to talk.
You are forever in school.
So you are. So what happens is that I think the curriculum is not putting enough emphasis in entrepreneurship, and I would say kindergarten, because they've had I've seen the kindergarten having projects where they're raising money, and you see sometimes where the kids are selling things at the supermarket,
yes,
at the different places, because they're learning and earning money. But what our society have to get away from, is the 9-to-5 syndrome, which I came under. The 9-to-5, you're always working for someone else. You're working from payday to payday. Now, if you want to get out of the payday syndrome, what you have to do, you have to develop your own business. And you can come up, hey, it's unlimited.
Ed, I told you
because
earlier.
you come up with, what is it, well, 13-year-old?
13-year-old, yes.
Yeah, tell us about that.
I saw it this morning on Facebook, where this 13-year-old, he was 12 when he had the idea, and his parents helped guide him. He's 13 when he started his company on technical technical company, IT. He's 15 now, and he's a millionaire.
Yes, right.
In 2 years, he has built it to where it's worth his company's worth $3.5 million.
At 14?
At 15.
15.
2 years.
Yes,
He had
right.
he's 3 years, but started at 12, started at 13. At 15, he's worth 3.5. His company worth $3.5 million. It's because his parents let him grow and business. He studied. He would read people. They said, well, I remember the word geek was a dirty word. Oh, I can't be no geek now. What's the most successful? Are geeks at this or geeks at that? I want to be a geek, Ed. And when it comes to studying and learning business and how to teach people, I study. I've already, this morning already, Ed, for 2 hours I've already studied.
Well, basically, that's what you have to do. And what parents have to realize, when that why comes to you, take a little time with that child.
Yes.
Because of the fact that helps them to explore the future. Because they may have ideas that you've never thought about. And when you get ready to explain the why, you wonder why it's happening yourself.
That's also that's also showing you how much you know.
Right. And really what you need to do, this starts out with the parents. When you go on trips and things, give the kids exposure to the economy, the different plants. Mr. Williams was talking about there, the group was talking about, take them on trips, so that they see how things are made, how a car is made, the assembly line, how those different things, how the candy that they eat, the food, take them to these factories, you know what I mean? And this is the way, this is education, and you'd be surprised the exposure that they get. But I like to emphasize once again, the education system is not putting enough emphasis on entrepreneurship and business, because, hey, you're not free unless you economically free.
No doubt. When you can say
few words there.
The great feeling of saying I'm debt free. I'm debt free. Man, I can't tell you, Ed. I was in debt for many years.
Right.
Before I learned there is no freedom until you have everything that you really want and you're debt free, and you have assets, not liabilities.
So you have to think in terms of that. You don't spend every dime that you get. You always think in terms of having a savings. That's what a lot of people, they go out and they see the newest car, they see the newest or whatever
investment
is
a new
out.
car.
I'm going to buy that. Well, the idea is that you have to develop and control your own economics.
Your own economic success. You do. You know, Ed.
Now tell us.
Now-
You say you're going to tell us about quickly about your group coming.
Event. Yeah, I have an
events
event coming up September the 25th, and when I'm telling people, when you get a ticket, bring a child. Bring a child. A child is free. You know, it's the evening of education and networking dinner, and it's also this month, because it's my birthday. It's a couple days before my birthday. We will have a little birthday celebration for me, and that was a suggestion of some of my clients. Say, well, we're going to celebrate your birthday that evening. And I want to teach them about thought and business. That's what I do. Teach you how to build a business or how to be successful in your life if you do have a 9 to 5.
Okay, well, give us your thoughts about increasing the emphasis of entrepreneur and business in the schools. Put it on the curriculum.
Put it on the curriculum. And it's so easy. If you can't put it on the curriculum, there are enough speakers out there that you can bring in a speaker once a week or twice a month, and give him an hour to talk to the students to show them how he did what he did.
Okay, and this has been Ed Brown, and what I'm saying is that all these manufacturers, you always buying goods and buying things. Go and find out where it's made. Take your child over there and expose them to them. They don't understand how different things are made. When they say why, that's a good sign.
That is a great
See you
sign.
next time.